Hi Body Buds, I'm Kristy Jo. Today let's talk about kimchi. You may have heard that kimchi is really powerful for helping to seal up leaky gut. We have a different video for talking about what leaky gut is, but essentially in order to build up the integrity of your gut wall, we do need fermented foods. We need to be doing glutamine. That's in my Body Buddies morning detox drink. Here is a link to go download that free guide. And also just through eating Power Foods lifestyle, you will be giving your body the necessary fuel to start building up the gut wall and reducing the chance of bacteria, yeast, and pathogens leaking through and dirtying your blood and compromising the blood-brain barrier and decrease the inflammation in your body altogether. It's amazing. It's very simple too. Don't overcomplicate it. Once you get under Body Buddies protocol, you're going to be on the right track. So what is kimchi? So fun fact, 한국에 살았어요. I lived in Korea, so I do speak Korean, and kimchi is like the primary food that all Koreans eat. It is a necessary part of every single meal they eat. And you know, there's a history that dates back to why that is, and shortage of food, and it's a way of keeping vegetables fresher longer, and you know, that sort of thing. There's this gochujang is in it. It's a red paste, so it's a little spicy. A lot of Americans at first are like, whoa, that is so different. That is not what I was expecting. That is not delicious, but give it 4 days, my friends. I'm going to show you in a second how I prefer. If you are new to kimchi, I'm going to show you how to cook it initially, because if you just eat it raw, like I love it raw, but if you just eat it raw, you're probably like, yeah, no. So I'm gonna teach you how to cook it in just a second, but a few things about it. We wanna be doing kimchi or sauerkraut, these fermented foods, 3 to 4 times a week to help with those probiotics and the microbiome in your gut. If you have candida yeast overgrowth, probably not a wise idea to be doing a probiotic until you've got that taken care of. We can talk about that in another video, but assuming you're in a relatively healthy state, that would be another good thing, is to take a probiotic as well. So this link will also take you to the one I recommend. So kimchi. The main type of kimchi is cabbage. There's also cucumber, oi kimchi. There's a lot of different varieties, but cabbage kimchi and cucumber kimchi are my favorites. So like, what's a typical serving size? I'd say like 1 to 2 tablespoons. So I'm just kind of grabbing like that. You know, if I was in Korea, I'd be using chopsticks. So Koreans will eat this with their rice. They have a bunch of different vegetables, yachae. If you may have seen, they have a lot of different side dishes, banchan, and this is a great way. Like, the Power Foods lifestyle translation from the way Koreans eat, and they're so healthy, is they're eating vegetables at every meal. They're eating fermented foods. They usually have some protein, whether it's eggs or whether it's a meat. They do have white rice, but it's not an exorbitant amount. I mean, any person can eat an exorbitant amount. And I did see that a few times when I was over there living in Seoul. I lived there for about a total of 2 years, 2 separate times. So I'm not an authority on Koreans, but I can say I haven't just visited there. Like, I've lived among the people. 그래서 한국 사람이시면 반가워요. There we go. It took me a second. Okay, so anything else you should know about kimchi? When you first open it, the fermentation may kind of bubble, so I usually open mine over a pan so it kind of spills out into the pan. High in vitamin C, very high in vitamin C. This is going to really boost your immune system. And I mean, there's lots of other things and nuanced information we could go into, but I'm more of the how-to girl. You can go get the full education you want if you really need that to get going, but let's go ahead and let's show you the meal we're going to make. So I'm going to first start out by turning on my burner. I do this for breakfast like almost every day. This is like, I don't even think about it. So I'm going to take my grass-fed butter. I'm using the Kerrygold brand, but I know there's other great brands. I'm doing about that's like a third of a tablespoon. Okay, a third of a tablespoon in Power Foods Lifestyle is going to be approximately 4 grams of fat. That's half of a peak range. A peak range is 8 to 12 grams of fat. I discussed this in my book, The Power Foods Lifestyle, which you can get at powerfoodslifestyle.com. I teach you a new methodology that's anti-diet that helps you learn how to pair your nutrients wisely for maximum brain function, body composition shifting, and in a style that allows you to assess that you're going different intensities, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. So we take out the diet approach, which is all or nothing, and we define what that looks like, what variables are in place for any intermediate pushes. So I just put about 2 tablespoons in there. My pan is heating up to about a medium heat. I'm going to saute that up. I always throw in just oodles. This is oodles. Oodles of leafy greens. If I'm using a smaller pan than this, then it will usually just be almost overflowing, because the butter and the heat, that's going to cook down, and that's what we want as the base of nearly any scramble or stir fry you ever do. So I could turn this into a scramble or a stir fry. Today I'm going to turn it into a scramble. The difference, if you add eggs, it's a scramble. If you don't add eggs, it's a stir fry. You have the choice to either add carbs or not add carbs. Predominantly, I would love for you to be eating PVF meals, protein, veggie, fat. I discussed this in the book as well. And the reason for that is basically because we want to reduce the inflammation in your body. Now, what is this? This is my pre-portioned out, cooked, grass-fed beef. Red meat should be eaten maximum 4 times a week. I prefer people keep it to 3 times. But I do advocate grass-fed meat and beef due to the fact that the riboflavin in it, the B vitamins, these help with your thyroid hormone, okay? And also, like pituitary gland, there's a lot of things in your brain that just absolutely require some animal protein. So we usually see that if someone is choosing a vegan or a vegetarian way of life, while I don't choose that for myself, I understand that that's what you want to do, but I really encourage you, you better be supplementing wisely, okay? What is this? I am dairy-free and prefer that most people go dairy-free, not for the sake of it's like rah-rah bandwagon, for the sake that our dairy industry is very corrupt and it's a very pro-inflammatory food item. It's one of our top 3 allergens that any autoimmune condition, you've got to get off dairy. Any migraines, any sinus infections, any allergies, skin issues, I need you to really consider getting off dairy. Now, I recognize that it's a process, and that's why I'm a coach. That's why I help people move into these changes. So this is an almond cheese. I finally went dairy-free. So this goes to show, like, transitions, because I've been coaching since 2012. I only went dairy-free last year. It took me that long. So I get it. Okay, right now this is cooking. Here, come up here. I'll give you a closer view. Oh, there we go. All right, so the kimchi is starting to cook. I could turn this up hotter, but I just prefer not to. I just would rather give my little saute its sweet time. I don't like to see it burn. If you're in a super big rush, yeah, you can turn it up to a medium high. If you are using any of our other really healthy oils, like I like you to in the Power Foods lifestyle, if it's not grass-fed butter, then it would be avocado oil, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, something like that. Remember that coconut and avocado oil can withstand a higher smoke point, so you can take those up to a high heat, but something like olive oil you'd never want to take above a medium heat. So what's a smoke point? That is where those fats are going to start oxidizing and they are becoming compromised. You're not going to get the same healthy benefits and those omegas that you need from it for your brain and the anti-inflammatory response. The whole reason we do them in the first place. All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to just heat this up to 2 more notches. Now it's like a medium-ish high. Okay, now I'm using a liquid egg white. You can use real eggs because it's a PVF, but it really comes down to knowing the difference between a tier 2 and a tier 3. Tier 2, we're working on pairing nutrients. We're combining proteins and vegetables and fats, whereas you're not worrying about portion sizes to the T, where in tier 3, that's where we're really maximizing our total daily macronutrient intake and calories to facilitate body composition shifts. And so in that case, I would, if assuming you're eating 6 meals a day and you're a female and you're semi-active, that's the baseline for Power Foods lifestyle peak ranges, 6 meals a day, then 8 to 12 grams of fat would be for one of these PVF meals. And in that case, we would not add egg yolks, and we probably would not have added, the ground beef, the cheese, and the butter all together would add up to the peak range, 8 to 12. It'd probably be closer to 12 grams of fat. We have enough protein from the ground beef plus the egg whites, and we have the vegetables. So PVF, that would be good peak ranges. If I was in tier 2, or if I was going to be eating fewer meals per day, that's where I would be adding in maybe some egg yolks. I could add in a little bit more oil. I could add avocado on after. That's the part where people get really confused and frustrated because they're eating the right foods. They're combining them correctly, but they haven't dialed into a tier 3. They don't have the strategy of just exact portion sizes for the daily macronutrients and calories to be consistent with, so they're not facilitating body composition changes. That's where I come in as a coach and make that very easy for you. So if you are in that position and you've already got to this point, you're doing well with your food combinations, you're eating the right foods, and you just really are ready to dial in, or perhaps you've got some emotional eating tendencies that are holding you back from consistency, even within healthy foods, then that would be the best time for you to look heavily into coaching, because I know you have the power to move through that, but oftentimes it does take that outside source to help us move through the resistance and into a new level of living. We're going to add salt right now. Very important to be adding sea salt or pink Himalayan salt to any PVF meals you're eating to help with the electrolyte balance. What are electrolytes? That's the balance of potassium, sodium, calcium, and magnesium. Every adult should be taking 400 to 500 milligrams of magnesium at night. That feeds into 300 enzyme processes. That's one of our Body Buddies core vitamins. If you have not yet learned about our core vitamins, definitely look for that video or blog post or podcast. I've got stuff everywhere. The key is you need to learn how to search your keywords if you're looking under Body Buddies stuff. But my main goal here is to educate you and give you the motivation and the how-to for making a true lifestyle change. And it's all about you enjoying a higher quality of life. So just, gear up for it. This isn't about changing, in a way that isn't gonna help you. And that's where you have to really consider, am I heading a direction that if I continue to go, I will be happy with the outcome? That's one of the hardest questions anybody I work with or any of my Body Buddies has to answer. And each of us have to take that personal responsibility. So you're still watching this because you are invested in learning and you're committed to wanting to change, and I applaud you for that. I'm very excited for you. You have what it takes, but we do need to make sure all the variables are in place, that you're getting educated, we're getting the right application tools in place, and then we're building the mindset for the resilience to keep going, because nobody is going to straight line their way to perfection. There is no such thing. Instead, it's more learning how to think and navigate the complexities of life that get in the way of trying to improve these changes. That's my job as a coach, is to help you learn how to think, and invite you to listen to my podcast. If you're not already subscribed and actively listening, make sure you complete my 30 podcasts in 30 days challenge. That's the best and fastest way to immerse into the lifestyle, as well as reading my book, available at powerfoodslifestyle.com. I'm just very happy you're here. Invite you to share this with anyone who you feel is ready for it. It does take a certain mindset of thinking about the connection between the food you eat, the way you work out, your mindset, your emotions, your spirituality. It's a very holistic approach here at Body Buddies. But for those people who are ready, it's the last thing they'll ever need to do. It's the last diet, it's the last fitness program, and it all is designed to make sense. So I'm excited for you to really engage in this learning with me and invite you on a journey. It is a journey that will continue onward and upward, and just very happy you're here.